But it's better. It's
not sure it's the
That's why you even. Yeah. Just did it. Yeah, 16 slides.
16 slides. Size slide. Okay. How many slides? Yeah, I think so. I can't get the techniques that they sent to me.
Just skip over the other one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. We have only 30 minutes. And some things have happened in the past couple of days, so we're juggling the agenda quickly. We'll see if we have time to get to everything, so we put it in priority order. So just a reminder on the intellectual property. You must say if there's any IPR associated with your drafts and your contributions, and in terms of anything you say at the mic as well. This is the note well. You've been seeing it all day yesterday, so but if you haven't read it, please pay attention to it. Blue sheets are going around. We need a note taker. Someone please volunteer. It's going to be easy today. Thank you, Robert. Can we have a jabber scribe? This is just to go to the mic if anyone who is remote and wants to share something with the room. Okay, I'll do it and let you run the meeting. All right. We have 2 documents in progress. You'll see in a few minutes that the number has gone up since we made these slides. But we're going to talk about them in this order. The first one is with the ISG, and the second one has just been in last call. This is the agenda. We're going to deal with the amount of time necessary in this order. So I hope we get to everything, but we'll see. Okay, and that's it for this, unless there's any agenda bashes. All right, Bill, you're up.
Okay,
Good morning, everybody. My name is Nabil Ben Amar. I'm the main author, the first author of this draft. After Alex left the draft in version 43, so I will give an update about what have been done in this draft since version 44 until 15. Currently, we are in 50, but we are expecting to post a new version 51 after receiving some comments from remaining ID. So from 44 to 45, so we have so in 44 we have updated the authors list, and in 45 we have updated the abstract so that we can give a more focus on the main scope. So we have redefined the scope so that to eliminate any ambiguity on what we want to do and we want to achieve in this draft, as suggested by the main reviewer at that time, Pascal Fiber. So we have added in range of one another of IEEE to do. So we are dealing with a range, and that any other optimization are out of scope in this draft. From 44 to 46, we have a new abstract which is more concise, so that we don't have much details in the abstract, and we keep them to the main body of the text. And we have introduced that this draft doesn't make change in existing stack, so with minimal change to existing stack. And also we focus once other time that the more complex scenarios related to vehicular communication will be covered in future work. Also in from 45 to 46, we have specifying the scope also in the introduction. So we have now in 46 this new text. The document describes the layering of IPv6 networking on top of the IEEE standard MAC layer or IEEE 802.3 MAC layer with a frame translation underneath. And we have added this sentence that the resulting stacks operate over 802.11 OCB and provide at least peer-to-peer connectivity. So the term peer-to-peer was not in previous versions of the draft. Using IPv6 ND and link local addresses, ND extension and Ipwave optimization for vehicular communication are not in scope, because we have been dealing with Pascal about what kind of ND, what are the limits of ND when it comes to vehicular communication, etc. So we made this sentence so to clarify the things better. Also we have in security consideration, we have added some ideas here. So for example, we added that a previous work at SAVI working group presents some threats, while SAND presented in these two RFCs is a solution against address theft, but it's complex and not deployed. This comment was sent also by from Pascal, but we had some other comments from the ADs when it goes to the ISG, that why talking about mentioning SAND if it's complex and not deployed. And we replied that this is the only solution that we have at that time, so this is why we mention it in this draft. From 46 to 47, we have changed the title. So now we have this new title of the draft, basic support for IPv6 over etc. And yesterday, I asked the RFC editor if they can help, even if it's not the time, it's not an RFC yet, but if we can gain some time to, if we can receive some feedback. So they told me that the title is a little bit long, so maybe we can think about it in next version. We have also included in the introduction that the resulting stack inherits from IPv6 over Ethernet. So this term launches also some debates in the mail list, and with the ADs, what we mean by inherit, etc. We explained that we do the same as in Ethernet, as IPv6 defined in RFC 2464. So there is no change. And that's it, yes, for this version. And then, yes, and this was one of the hot topics, debates, which is about the length of the address or the interface identifier. So we specify clearly that independently of the method used to provide the identifier, the length is 64 bits. So if we need if there is any comments that should be discussed in other working group, not in Ipwave. From 47 to 48, Mohammed Boukadir, thanks to Mohammed, he suggested, he proofread the whole document, and he suggests me in private, he sent me corrections, proofreading, and suggesting some ameliorations to clarify some text. So many corrections were made in this version 48. From 48 to 49, we had some issues about the references, which are normative and which are informative. I think that can happen in many stages, and hopefully we have solved this problem. And we fixed some remaining typos in. Every time we have a lot of typos. From 49 to 50, so it was the ballot. So we got 10 OK. So it's an OK for the moment, but we still have some 3 discuss. We reflected the comment received from the IDs. We removed the following notes in the new version, which is 50. Compliance with standard and regulation set in different countries when using the 5.9 giga frequency band is required. We removed this part because we don't need to deal with this detail in IETF. No specific reason why this needs to be said here, so this is why we removed this part. I think this is what this one was one of the main comments of one of the discuss. So hopefully this discuss will turn on okay. The mapping to the etc. So we have this must that became a should because one of the ADs said that must is strong here, and this idea deals with IEEE, so why we need to force something like that. So we agreed that this must should be a should. I need to remind the participant here that this part of the draft was sent as a review from IEEE 802.11 working group. Based on their review, a long review, we made this sentence here. So we just changed the must into a should. We also corrected the normative use of may and should in the text, the normative way of writing these words. Also, we reformulated the text in subnet structure, as pointed out by Roman, one of the ADs, as follows. So he suggested to rewrite, but with the help of Pascal, we rewrite this part. So we introduced some specificities related to neighbor discovery to reflect what we want to say here and why ND with the current OCB can lead to other works that can be done in the future. We also reformatted the security section because one of the ADs suggested that an attacker may not heed to legal limits for radio power and can use a very sensitive directional antenna. So it was okay. So I added this sentence. If attackers wish to attack a given exchange, they don't necessarily need to be in close physical proximity. So this detail was not present in previous version. What remains to do is to answer one last comment in the discuss that we have now of Roman, which deals with the pseudonym handling. So I think we have now, with the help of Eric, we have now, I think, a good text that Roman will I hope, will agree on. So that's it for these versions. So any question or comments are welcome. Thank you.
What are you going to say to address this comment?
So we have just sent a few lines to Roman, Eric and I, and we are still waiting for his feedback, just to fix this short paragraph about what is the difference between what is the impact of confidentiality, because we used the term confidentiality in the text. It was ambiguous for him, and we changed it into the identity of the destination and making the trust, because identity is not as confidentiality. It's two terms different. So we have proposed to change these two terms. That's it. That's the main change that we have in this section.
Suresh Krishnan. So Russ, like in short, it says like the upper layer protocol should take care of it. Like that's the the gist of this text he has like proposed to Roman. Okay. So,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so Nabil, one question. So basically, when you get the okay from Roman, you will be submitting version 51,
Yes.
and then we will ask the three discussants, because currently there are three discussants, to check if they are fine and to clear that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Paul?
Hello, everybody. This is Paul Zhang from SKKU. So basically, this Ipwave problem statement document reviewed by Charlie Perkins and Tree. And basically, Tree Kundavali certified with this revision. And Charlie case, he looks like didn't finish the review yet. But I believe most of his comments are addressed. So after last the prom meeting, we revised it 2 times. So right now the version is 11. So I will explain 2 revisions. So the first revision from 9 to 10. So from Charlie. So the question is the multi-link subnet model. So this is the problem statement. So I remove multi-link subnet discussion. Just we specify characteristic of a vehicular link model. It's symmetric, and so mobile ADAC network property. So we just addressed. And also he mentioned the DNS motivation, the vehicular, why DNS important. So I explained that especially in vehicle has a lot of ECU unit. So they can be register their own domain name. Also remotely automotive service center can remote monitor regulator. So in that case, DNS registration also resolution is important. So that's why I added some text. So in appendix, I added the detailed changes, so you can refer to that. So timing issues, Andy. So you can see the National Highway Traffic Agency, I forgot, service agency? Safety agencies, thank you. So they mentioned the 0.5 seconds very important timing to avoid accident. So in that case, the neighbor discovery message, if used for the safety message, 0.5 the exchange is required. So depending on density of vehicle, we can adjust the interval of neighbor discovery message. So I added that text. Next, the security consideration case expanded the consider neighbor discovery part and the mobility management part. So I added some text. Secondly, this you can see documentation prefix. Charlie maybe some confused what is this. So this is you can see documentation prefix, right, for the example. So definitely any routable IP-46 address can be routable in BANET and vehicular network, including infrastructure load, RSUs. Also, the third one is the figure 1 case. The separate vehicular ADAN network BANET can be merged using infrastructure node or newly joining vehicles. So you can see two separate BANET can link with the infrastructure node or the other arriving node. I mentioned that part. And suggestion how good nodes differentiate from bad nodes. So I added a text. So certificate can be used to authenticate the vehicles. So I mentioned the high level. So our document again is for problem statement rather than giving the solution. So, and version 10 case, I reflected Charlie's the editorial comment. So many editorial comments are addressed. Several questions case in the appendix I addressed what change are done. And 3 Gunda Valley case, the RFC 8505 reference. This is for the 6LoWPAN, the address restoration, some optimization. So in this text, we get rid of them. Just maybe the solution development page we can consider. So we deleted. Next step is after confirmation of Charlie, and then Carlos will review, and then we can call last call, and then we can submit ISG. Okay, that's it.
I think Pascal has a comment or question.
Pascal, I missed the reason why you removed text on 8505. Is that because you're not talking solution?
Exactly.
I did not understand why you removed that text.
Okay. 3, his comment is that and the optimization is the possible good solution, but our problem statement case we don't mention it. Maybe we can discuss.
So, yes, that's because you don't enter solution space. That's because you're in problem space. That's the argument.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, basically we will wait until Charlie confirms that he's happy with the review.
Yeah, just closing on the last comment, Pascal's right. Exactly. I think it's not touching on the solutions. That's one thing. Second thing is, this was the last minute, the comments, in that you are addressing were mostly based on the reviews from Charlie and others, right? There has to be some discussion. Randomly, we cannot insert some new sections without any discussion in the mailing list, right? So that's the reason why.
Sorry, Pascal, again, I don't buy the last argument. If you say, okay, that's not the subject of the document, I completely buy it. If you tell me it's because we don't discuss enough, well, let's discuss, right? That you can't just remove text that's odd. Because it's like if you say, okay, we have to ship now, so whatever is discussion is pending, we don't take it. I don't buy that. I mean, you want a good document, and if you want a good document, then you want to make sure you have settled all the issues, right? So if there was a good reason to mention it, then, and you remove it just because you decided at the last minute, that's not fair either, right? So the group must have a consensus either way. We want to talk about it, we don't want to talk about it, it's the right document, wrong document, but you can't just make a decision like that in a work group document just at the moment you do last call to snip some document off it without the group saying, yes, you can, right?
So the text that showed up in that version, there was no prior discussion. It's just randomly showed up, that entire section, point number 1. Point number 2, again, this spec is about requirements, right? So we are not touching, I think those, for those reasons, I said, it should be taken out.
Okay, and in any case, the document is not in working group code yet, so, I mean, we can have discussion if somebody thinks that it has to be there, that text, but I agree that it's not about solution, the document, so. Okay, so then as I was saying, we'll wait for Charlie to confirm, and then once Charlie is happy with the review, I will do a final review before going to working group code, okay?
Okay. So we move to the hackathon report. Just 1 minute is enough because and so basically this hackathon is the second time hackathon. So I think it's Pascal's solution. Our solution is report to his previous work. So the hackathon project case, we approved the OCB and also one possible solution. The vehicle neighbor discovery using multi-hub DAD. So we proved concept, and so basically we using this multi-hub DAD to reduce the DAD delay. Also, we can allow vehicle can start the TCP connection as soon as possible using the multi-hub add-on network and the infrastructure network. So we extended the connectivity. So we proved using the simulation. And okay, so the appendix is explained, and this website can show the video clip and GitHub. That's it. Thank you. Yeah. So if you have a question, please you can discuss. Okay. So Pascal, you have short time. Okay. Thank you. Oh, you have a question?
Yes, if you want one. Are you saying that you're flooding the DAD over multiple hubs, so you're actually doing a big flood for DAD? Well, that's the one thing we just did not wanted absolutely to avoid in the type of networks that Cisco has been working on.
Right, exactly.
Because of the bandwidth that the flooding cost. The flooding, well, each broadcast is done at the slowest speed possible, and if you have to flood it, then that means you're basically consuming all the bandwidth for everybody each time you want to form or just check a new address. And well, many environments it's just not acceptable. But I can't see that it would be acceptable on the CB. I don't see why it would be acceptable, because as soon as you get enough cores, the only thing you will see is that on your network. I mean, there is no bandwidth else or anything else. Not quite a good idea. So the way 6LoAD has that over multiple hops is unicast. So you need to have, for a given subnet, a registry. And you just unicast check that registry. That's how you avoid the flood. Because the flood, with just one car, it looks great. But then you have 1,000 cars, and nothing works.
Okay. So in the past, the adding roadmap, he suggested we need to consider a multi-hub DAD with the unicast. So that's why we implemented some possible solution. But once we finish the problem statement document, we can discuss. Now, just the example. Okay.
Okay, and I have one question. I made already that question to you offline, but do you plan to do some real OCB drop kind of hackathon in the future? Because I think that will be also very interesting. Also,
Yes.
I get you guys, Nabil, you have an implementation, so maybe it could be.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, my group already have the Coda wireless RCU and OBU, so we will test the Wave protocol. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So Nabil, yeah.
Yes, thank you for pointing out to the hackathons. So we made 2 hackathons in the past, one in Dakar and second one in Kampala last month during the Africa Internet Summit. So we got good results because we are using not simulation but real cards, and to test if there is possibility to connect and to send pings, and we using Wireshark to capture and to see the frame and all fields and all details. That's what we want also to do next time.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
So I guess, Pascal, we are sorry, but we don't have time for your presentation. I mean, for those that are interested on that, Pascal did in 6 months and in 6LoAD. 6LoAD was the standard version, right, of of the presentation. So you can check the video recordings if you're interested. And 6.1 is also.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
we are done. Thanks. Where are the blue sheets, by the way?
Blue sheets, where are they?
Okay.
Has everybody signed it?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, guys.
Then my question is how this works. Is this unicast? My question was about is it unicast? Okay. So that's my question. You can imagine